First of all, it is not a Friday. However, I'm shooting this video for the Vault only because I think that it's the kind of thing that my Vault viewers will appreciate, but the general audience might not. But right now, I've got a man arguing with my garbage can. Arguing with my garbage can. I assume it's a full-grown adult male based on some clues, but here's what's happening. I have email, as many of us do these days, and people send me email, and I sometimes read their emails they send. But I also have spam filters in place because quite often people send me stuff that's inappropriate. I also get a lot of junk. I get literally every single day dozens of offers to fix my website, fix my law practice, fix my business, all kinds of crazy stuff. Do you have ants or termites? Things like that. And so I've got spam filters that pretty much filter out all kinds of stuff. And I've also got them set to filter out vulgarities and obscenities. And my thinking is that if you know me, you wouldn't be using that language. And if you don't know me and you use that language, there's really no need for me to read your email. So I'm sorry, I know that some people out there go, Steve, the First Amendment guarantees me the right to free speech. Yeah, it does not guarantee your right to send emails to strangers filled with obscenities and force them to read them. So here's the thing. My email program has an inbox. It has a drafts box. It has an out or sent box. And then it has garbage, and then has spam. And so if something comes in and gets caught by one of the filters, it'll get sent to the spam folder. And now I don't read all my spam because that would kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? Seems to me you weed the stuff out for a reason. But I will tell you that periodically, and it depends on how lazy I am or how busy I am or vice versa, I will sometimes then go in to do some housekeeping and decide, oh, it's time to dump the spam, it's time to dump the garbage, the trash. I think it's labeled trash. So I go in there the other day, I believe this was yesterday, but I've been thinking about this. And I see an email from somebody, and it's typed in all caps, which is usually an indication that somebody's really angry, pounding away at their keyboard. And it's something about, and the subject line is about a recent video. Now, it's not a video I did in the last couple of days. It goes back a little ways. But the subject line I recognize as being about a video I did. Now, ironically, at the end of every video, I say, questions or comments, put them below. And I indicate below as if you're looking at me on your computer screen, and there's a section for comments below that you can put questions or comments below. I know this is extremely complex, so if you need me to slow down or repeat, just remember you can pause, by the way, if you're taking notes. And so this guy apparently sent an email to my email box and was complaining about a video I put up, and he wrote a very, very angry email. And here's the thing, I never saw it. It apparently went straight into my garbage, primarily because I suspect the language contained things that got caught by my spam filter. However, based on what I saw in the garbage, and I glanced at the garbage, I don't read all the emails, but I glanced to make sure there's nothing in there that's something I'm looking for or somebody sent me something. Once in a while, I've seen something that didn't belong in the garbage. It's a paranoid thing. But I don't go through and read them all. But I saw this most recent comment from this guy, and it was in all caps, and it referenced the video topic I'd done. And as I was going further down, I saw a previous email, and the guy has sent me, at least that I know of, 6 or 7 emails. And since they're in reverse chronological order, as I start from the top and work my way down, it's kind of like a prehistoric dig or something, archaeological dig. And so I've got to kind of piece this together in my mind. I did not open any of the emails, did not read any of the emails, but when I look at the email in the thing that shows me these, I can see his name, his subject line, and the first part of the first sentence of the email. So going back now in reverse order, the oldest email he sent me says something about the video I just put up and how wrong I am. But I didn't see that. So some time went by, and he got upset that I didn't respond to the email that he sent unsolicited to my workplace. And he said, I can't believe that you won't respond to my email, which I can believe because it's in my garbage. It's in my trash. So he said, I can't believe you won't respond. I think that's the sentence fragment I picked up there. And of course, I hadn't seen that one either. And they got increasingly vitriolic, I think is the right word here, as time went by, to the most recent one that I didn't read that said something to the effect of that I'm a coward because I won't respond to his repeated emails that are in my garbage. Now, I know some people say, Steve, technically it's not garbage, it's trash. And I know that in some parts of the country and in some parlance, some people will say that garbage is one thing, trash is another, and somehow trash is a little bit less garbagey than garbage. I don't know if we want to get into these distinctions right now. So maybe I should say the man's arguing with my trash can. But right now, and by the way, I did not respond to any of these. I'm not going to respond to any of these because at this point, I think I'd be failing as a human being if I started responding now. Because if I respond now by saying, oh, excuse me, sir, I haven't seen any of your emails. How about if I go back and review the first one and I'll respond to that and I'll ignore all of the other vile things that you wrote about me. That isn't right. And it's you can't go off on somebody and then when they go, oh, excuse me, I didn't know you were talking to me, go, oh, I'm sorry, no big deal. Let's be friends now. Because I can tell by the way the subject line changed and the first part of the first sentence changed that the guy was getting extremely insulting with me. But he's not really insulting me because I'm not reading the emails. He's insulting my trash can. So just, again, we'll recap now. I'm shooting this on a Sunday. It is right now Sunday afternoon. This video will probably go up, I'm guessing, Monday evening. And this guy may or may not have responded again to my lack of response by sending an even more hyped up video, a more hyped up email. I don't know. Maybe eventually he'll stop, kind of like a baby crying himself to sleep or herself. That's a possibility also. But pro tip, if you want to correspond with somebody you don't know, okay, you might want to send them a polite email first and say, excuse me, I don't know you, but I have a question regarding something you posted or something you've done. And by the way, I've actually corresponded with a lot of people, and I've gotten very, very far by being polite. And so I can tell you some of the people that I've corresponded with over the years, and some of them are quite well known. And I won't say that we're like best buddies or anything like that, but I know for a fact that I can send emails to some people who are fairly well known because I have reached out to them politely and said, hey, I'm curious about something. Can I ask you a question? I'm an attorney in Michigan, or I write books, or I'm a historian, or I'm a guy who makes YouTube videos. And I've met other YouTube creators. I've met those. But I've also just met people who write newspaper columns or magazine columns. I had a correspondence today with somebody who is very highly placed in Detroit media. I'll leave it at that. But my point simply is that if you reach out politely to somebody and you have a question about something, you can often get a response. But when someone doesn't respond to you and your second or third response is, hey, you coward, why won't you write me back? You should realize there's a good chance you're arguing with their spam filter, which in essence is you're arguing with their garbage can. And at this point, now that I have seen them, I just left them where they were and I hit flush, to mix metaphors there, on my trash can. And those emails have all disappeared. And I also blocked his email, so in case he were to dial it down a little bit, it'll still go straight in the garbage. And so I don't get that. And I've mentioned before, and I hope he doesn't mind me telling the story, although I guess I'll leave his name out of this. But there was a person, he's still around, good friend of mine actually now, who very, very long time ago, early in the history of my channel, had contacted me and he said, hey, Steve, I think earlier I may have sent you a message that now that I look at it may have come across wrong. And I think that you may have kind of like You kind of disregard me now because of that. And he goes, I wanted to apologize. He goes, I went back and looked at what I wrote, and I realized that it was something that could be taken the wrong way. He goes, is there any chance that we could kind of like start over? I want to apologize. I said, absolutely. Turns out this guy's now a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. Now, by good friend, I'm not saying that he and I have lunch together or anything like that, because he lives in another state. But we've spoken on the phone. We've exchanged countless messages through, like, say, Facebook and so on. We've emailed back and forth, and I consider him a friend. And I've told him that. And occasionally I'll mention him, by the way, do you remember how we met? And so I don't know why it is. I recognize on one level the fact that some people look at me and go, hey, I view him as a friend. Even though I've never met him, never talked to him, never communicated with him, I simply look at his videos and I watch the videos and I consider him a friend. I do value that. I actually recognize that that is a big, big deal. That total strangers watch my videos and enjoy them. I absolutely recognize that fact. But if you come across so familiar that you actually think you can start an email to me, despite the fact we've never communicated before, by saying, hey, you're wrong and you're a coward, do you think the average person is going to write back to you? Or are they going to say it's not worth the trouble? It's not worth the trouble. So I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm saving it for a special occasion, maybe when my channel hits 500,000 views on the main channel, I do have a story I want to tell. And I haven't told it yet for a couple different reasons. But I'm going to tell a story. And so I'm going to ask you guys to remind me, because I know the people who watch the Vault channel are the likely ones to remember something like this. But I want to tell the story about, how should I say this? About the gentleman in Michigan. Let's just leave it at that. A gentleman in Michigan. And I've got a story. I've not told it yet. I think it'll be entertaining. I will put it on the main channel because I think a lot of people on the main channel will enjoy it also. But it's just an interesting story about an interaction I had with somebody that I've told it to other people, and they're like, whoa, really? Yes, really. So there you go. Remind me as I approach 500,000. That'll be a while. But we'll see. And meanwhile, I've still got this lingering cough. It's getting better. But there's something about how when I project my voice, and I'm working with a microphone here and the camera, occasionally it creeps up on me, but I'm 99% better. But getting back to the original story here, just so you know, there right now is a guy out there someplace who thinks he's arguing with me, but he's actually arguing with my garbage can. And I actually don't know why he's upset. I know what video he's upset about, and I can probably guess that he disagrees with me. But it's more fun to watch him argue with the garbage can. And I'm going to end it on this. I'll let you know right now that I talked before about Milo and Wolfie, the two Shetland sheepdogs I had for many, many years. And Milo passed away, so it was a year or two I had with just Wolfie. And I would take Wolfie for walks in downtown, and we'd walk downtown, and people, hey, Steve, hey, Wolfie. It was like, Doc Hollywood. Nice pig, Doc. If you haven't seen the movie, please watch it. It's a great movie. Michael J. Fox. But Wolfie would pull me towards the bank, because if we passed the bank doors, there was glass at his height. And he'd see a reflection of a Shetland sheepdog in that glass who looked an awful lot like him and would start barking the second he would start barking. And the two of them would bark at each other all the way down to the end, and then we passed the end of the bank, Wolfie'd stop barking because that dog went away. Now, it didn't hurt anybody. Wolfie got some exercise. He exercised his lungs. We'd turn around and walk back, and wouldn't you know, that dog was still inside that bank, right on the other side of the glass, barking at Wolfie. But Wolfie's a dog. Wolfie was just a dog. He's a Shetland sheepdog. Very smart dogs, but, still just a dog. I've got an adult who's arguing with my garbage can. So there you go. Questions or comments? Dare I say it? Put them below. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.